Hello, world. Welcome back to Golf Subpar. Colt, Knost, and Drew Stoltz. And holy shit, sleaze, do we have some stuff to get into. We're going to get to Joaquin Niemann in the Genesis Invitational. But first, we got to talk about the SGL. The people over in Saudi, Phil Mickelson, a major bomb was dropped on them Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I almost feel bad for Joaquin Niemann putting together one of the best 36-hole performances I can remember in a long time, 16 under around Riv, and like all the talk was around Phil and the comments about the SGL, and like that was a nuke dropped on this thing. I mean, we've been talking about this league for a long time. It seems like the attention comes up, then it comes down, then some other names get floated, and we talk about it again, and then this weekend, I mean, you know, the rumor was that they had 17 guys signed. They were going to announce during the Players' Championship and all that. And now after the guys that came out this weekend said, I'm committed to the PGA Tour for sure going forward. It's every big name in golf. So at this point, I don't know if it goes forward or if it does, who's going to be carrying the flag for that thing.
Sunday morning, I woke up, saw Dustin Johnson release a statement saying he's committed to the PGA Tour. I was flipping over between Golf Channel and the CBS coverage, and we got a word in our ear that Bryson DeChambeau just released a statement saying, I'm committed to the PGA Tour as long as the best tour players in the world are there. So that's still, he's got an out. But Bryson was the guy that seemed like he was going to be the main man over there. And for him to back out was very, very surprising to me. And if you look at the list of guys who said no, it's now Bryson, Dustin, Rory, Brooks, Jon Rahm, Justin Thomas. Who else is on there?
Spieth. Did you say Spieth?
I mean, it's like, who the hell are you going to get?
Who's going to be the top-ranked guy that goes over there? This whole thing, I mean, it's named the SGL, the Super Golf League. Like, it was billed as this is going to rival the PGA Tour. We're going to have stars. We're going to pay you more money. Come over here and get paid. And now looking at it like, all right, even if this thing does happen, who's your top-ranked guy? It's nobody after all those guys that is going to move the needle single-handedly. And you need like a group of them. I was when we were talking about this, I was like, I think you need half the top 10 or something like that. You know, you got to take some dudes that move the needle, and they don't got any. Assuming everybody's telling the truth, they don't got any of those guys.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what happens. Obviously, Phil created a lot of buzz with his comments about the PGA Tour and the Saudis in an article with Alan Shipnuck. I mean, he said some pretty crazy things in that article. I'm not going to get into that here. Mostly just talking about the PGA Tour, their obnoxious greed and all this, but. In my opinion, I don't know how you feel, I think that's going to come back and backfire on him.
Yeah, I think Phil is always calculated, always kind of planning one step ahead, knows how to tilt the scales towards his favor, not afraid to throw his weight around. I'm more shocked than anything that he would give those quotes to a golf writer and be like, and think that it's all going to be okay. Like, those are going to get out. This wasn't behind closed doors at a dinner or something like that. That was straight up to a golf writer, and then these things come out. And I feel like he misplayed his hand. I think he was trying to use this as leverage all along, and now it's coming out with the way he's gone at the PGA Tour. This is the first time in history. I mean, he's one of the most beloved guys, most popular guys on the PGA Tour for 30 years plus. I've never once seen other players, especially top-tier players like Rory, come out and take shots at Phil, ever.
Justin Thomas came out. Rory McIlroy came out after his round on Sunday and was asked about Phil Mickelson's comments. He said, quote, I don't want to kick someone while he's down, obviously, but I thought they were naive, selfish, egotistical, ignorant. A lot of words to describe that interaction he had with Shipnuck. It was just very surprising and disappointing, sad. I'm sure he's sitting at home, sort of rethinking his position and where he goes from here, end quote. Yeah. I mean, that's from Rory McIlroy, who is the nicest, most caring guy out there. But at the same time, you take a shot at the PGA Tour, which has been Phil's home for 25 plus years. Listen, I think everyone in every single sport, whether it's NBA, NFL, NHL, Major League Baseball, like players want it to be better. That's just human nature. Everyone That's what we are. We want it to be better. We want it to be more money and all this. But man, to bury him the way Phil did, I thought was a big mistake.
Yeah, and when you get a guy like Rory, like you mentioned, he's one of the most thoughtful interviews in golf. When he talks, people listen. And this is the first time, like I said, that I can remember where other players are coming out and criticizing Phil Mickelson. He's been incredibly popular with the players, President's Cup, Ryder Cups, all those things. They seem to always have Phil's back. This is the first time that I can think that that's not the case. And I think Phil, he's been quiet throughout the weekend. You know, he didn't play the Genesis. He hasn't heard from him on social media, anything like that. If I'm his team, I think you got to get in front of this quick. The longer you go, the more the anticipation builds. And I think he's got one or two routes. One, show some remorse, say, hey, I was trying to use this to better the PGA Tour. That was my intent. I got some quotes that were, I apologize for. I know they sound bad. Or you double down and stay with it and lean into it more. So I think he's got to go one of two ways.
Yeah, I'm interested to see when he plays again next. He's, over the years, played Bay Hill many a times. The Players' Championship, pretty much always. He likes to warm up before the Masters. That's San Antonio, Valero. And then there's Augusta National. At some point, he's going to show up and he's going to have to face the music. And also, it's going to be a different atmosphere, I would imagine, walking into the locker room, walking into player dining, and being around your peers playing on the PGA Tour, the tour that you shit all over.
Yeah, it's going to be. That's why I think the moment that he speaks to the media for the first time is going to be a big, big moment. And the longer it goes, the more the anticipation builds, the bigger that it gets. I think he needs to come out and say something right away and put this to bed and just let it simmer a little. It's not going to go away until he gets to a golf tournament and gets in front of the media and answers them directly. But even if he puts out a statement or something, just put this thing on simmer
I don't like
for a
the
little
statement.
bit.
I think with what he did at the magnitude it is, I don't like the statement. I think you've got to go in person and just own it.
Well, yeah, he's got to. At some point, he's going to have to get up there. They're not going to forget about this. Oh, he didn't play for a month. And next time he shows up, they're just going to ask him about his game. He's going to have to answer for this face-to-face. But you could put something out and say, hey, I look forward to speaking to everyone at this event, and here's what happened, and just kind of chill it out a little bit. I also like the fact that when Rory was asked about it, he's like, yeah, I don't want to kick a guy when he's down, but here I go. This triple suplex guillotine. I'll just choke this guy out right here. So he prefaced it with, I don't want to kick a guy when he's down, and then just drop the bomb on him. But yeah, man, Phil, for the first time in a long, long time, Phil's kind of not Mr. Popular right now, and he's going to have to come up with what he's going to say and try to spin this in the right light.
No, and I know some people on the Saudi tour side, and speaking to them, this was a bomb dropped on them. They were in complete shock. Never expected this to happen the way it did. So it'll be very interesting going forward to see what happens with the SGL.
Do you think it ever happens? Do you think they actually hold an event now at this point?
They might hold an event, but it's not. It's going to be nothing.
Yeah, what are you going to, people are going to show up for that? Our best player is the 29th ranked player in the world or whatever it is that they're going to get?
Now it's just okay, now we're just trickling down the world golf rankings. Who are we going to get next? Who are we going to get next? You get to the 80th player in the world and say, hey, we'll give you $5 million to come play? Sure, I'll take it.
Yeah, there are guys that'll jump all over that if the money keeps trickling down, but it's not going to affect the product of the PGA Tour. All the guys that you needed to be the premier tour in the world are all staying on the PGA Tour as of right now.
Well, in some positive news, Tiger Woods showed up at the Genesis Invitational last week. He is the tournament host, was in the booth with Jim Nantz, looked great, sounded great, was very uncommittal about his schedule, which I totally understand.
Of course.
But his biggest thing was, I got to be able to walk 18 holes 4 days in a row, which around Augusta National, where we want to see him, is rather difficult. But we did hear a report. There's 52 steps going from 18 green up to the clubhouse. I've walked them. They suck. You're out of breath when you get up there.
Set up base camp.
And apparently, Tiger strolled up them, no limp, no problem, all good.
Just from where we saw him at the PNC with Charlie, the way he was swinging, I was like, oh my God, this is miles ahead of where I thought he was. And then now, there's no days off, I'm sure, for Tiger. He's working on it. I got to think physically he's probably okay. It's just, where's my golf game? Can I compete? I don't think he wants to go out there and be a ceremony. I'll put the tee in the ground, but my game stinks right now. I don't think we'll see him until he feels confident in his golf game. But damn, just seeing him this week. Just rewind a year ago when we saw him out there. He looked like a different person this year compared to last year. And I don't know. I don't want to jinx anything, but I got to think Augusta seems very real at this point.
Totally agree with you. Let's go to the Genesis Invitational, and the champion, Joaquin Niemann, put on a show. 16 under through 2 rounds, obliterated the scoring record. Cameron Young, who was in second, also broke the scoring record.
He's got to feel like shit. The 1 week I run up against this, yeah.
But ends up shooting 19 under for a 2-shot victory over Colin Morikawa and Cameron Young. Just the kid, we know he's going to be a superstar. He's only 23 years old. Feels like he's been out there for 10 years already. But, man, that was a hell of a show. Went wire to wire, first person since 1969 and Charlie Sifford. But he put on a clinic, man.
Dude, that first 36 was some of the best 36 holes of golf. 63 round rip. By the way, he didn't make hardly anything, especially the first day.
55 feet of putts, longest putt, 9 feet.
9 feet, 63. And then you shoot a 63, okay, it's hard to back up. Bam, he goes and does it again. Dude, he got to 21 under through 46 holes of the golf tournament.
Good math.
That's crazy.
Your math
is nuts. Both of those things are incredibly impressive. But it's always been the putter. His ball striking's there. It seems like week in, week out. Putter's a little iffy. Whatever he did, through the first 36, he led in strokes gained approach and strokes gained putting. So there you go. He does that. He's a problem because the tee to green, it's awesome.
Yeah, Dottie Pepper was with his group for CBS. I was in the next to last group. He makes eagle on 10 to go to 21 under. He's leading by 6. I'm like, well, I'm just basically getting paid to walk out here and walk around and watch golf because they're never going to send it to my group. There's nothing to show here. Then Tiger gets in the booth. I'm like, well, I'm rather bored.
Here we go. I'm just going to lay down.
Can you slow down a little bit?
Under a tree.
Yeah. Make it a little more interesting. But congratulations, Joaquin Niemann, second PGA Tour victory. More to come.
Definitely more to come. It is like, that's kind of the running joke. Like, wow, he's only 23 years old, but damn, he is only 23 years old. He's been out there for forever. He picked up his second now. And just if the putting, say this about a few guys, but if the putting becomes average, just okay, he's going to contend and put himself in the hunt tons because tee to green is sweet.
I will show you something. It's obviously hard to show right here, but he's working with a guy named Steven Sweeney, same guy Luke List worked with. And Steven sent me some pictures of a year ago compared to today of his putting stroke. Oh, my goodness.
What's the biggest difference?
Posture. He looked like a 12 handicap setting up over
It looked good. Like this whole week, I was like, how does he always putt bad? What goes wrong? It looked good. I mean, the last day, a couple little shorties you expect, but also nervous as shit, trying to lead wire to wire. That's got to be exhausting. And the names behind him were big. Colin Morikawa tried to make that thing interesting.
Top 10 in the world are there.
That Eag kind of put it all to bed, I felt like, on 11. But, yeah, he was – for a guy that can't chip, by the way, Colin Morikawa supposoly can't chip, seems to hold out a shitload of chips.
Who says he can't chip?
And say, like, that's – I mean, he's known as a ball striker, obviously.
He's still a good chipper.
I mean, he holds a ton of them.
Yeah.
And those ones he was holding out there
Victor
were
Hovland's a shitty chipper.
Yeah, I know Victor Hovland. He got so much better. He had some great chips this week. That's why he always is in the hunt now, it feels like.
He is. But speaking of gorgeous things, our guest this week – what was that jacket he wore? Was it suede?
That thing was like a velvety suede-ish, something I hadn't seen before. It's like out of Elvis's closet, like a little toned-down Elvis get-up.
But has been a superstar since he was in diapers. First got to see him when he was 17 years old at the U.S. Open at Olympic Club. At one point had the lead. Goes on to great career at the University of Texas. Now he's on the PGA Tour. Just had a great finish at Pebble Beach a couple weeks ago. Got to think Beau Hossler and a win is coming soon.
Yeah, if he just drives it somewhat straight. I think statistically, a few events ago, he was like dead last in accuracy on the PGA Tour.
It's not good.
That's tough to win against those guys hitting it the way they do. So if he just straightens it up just a little bit and he's grinded, he's changed his golf swing a lot, you know the talent. When you're a kid that's that good from the jump all the way up to the PGA Tour, it's kind of just getting comfy, getting everything figured out. But yeah, he's starting to show some flashes, especially at Pebble.
I mean, you would think with a swing like he's got after one Colin Montgomery, he would drive it up a gnat's ass.
I mean, he's got the DNA. You know what I mean? The apple doesn't fall far typically.
All right.
He's tightened up a lot, though.
Yeah.
Dude, he's in that gym right now.
All right. Well, here he is, Beau Hossler on Golf Subpar.
All right. We are joined by an absolute beauty, dressed up to the nines, by the way, tonight. I'm very appreciative of that. You've been watching him make tweets since the man was in braces. He led the U.S. Open at the ripe age of 17. Now he's a grizzled PGA Tour vet. The Beau Show, Beau Hossler. What's going on, brother?
Grizzled, that's a first.
Grizzled. You like that?
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah. And you're looking, by the way, very trim. You're in that gym right now, huh?
Yeah, I took a page out of your book.
Don't do anything and lay around.
Yeah, correct.
Drink
Just
a lot of Red
trying
Bull.
to keep those legs a little smaller.
Yeah, it's always leg day, bro.
Is that an audio book?
You're on it. What's your secret? Do nothing.
Yeah,
just lay
correct.
around. Yeah, you got it figured out.
Yeah.
Have you been putting a lot of work in, though?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Off season.
Just trying more speed, lose weight, both, all?
I mean, I think everybody wants more speed. Yeah, I mean, that'd be great. But it wasn't like speed training. I don't know. I figured I'd get in shape for a month and a half.
Love
You
it.
just
Rather
harder?
than just
I
crush.
see the numbers on Insta. You're
Thanksgiving
throwing
for-
up some big numbers, speed-wise.
They're big.
I mean,
they're almost as big as yours.
legit numbers, bro. Yeah, well, I mean, be realistic.
I
But
know.
you're going, and you're working on that swing a lot. What are you doing?
Yeah, you
golf
like
swing.
that?
I see.
It's been a revitalization.
What are you doing?
Dana
What are you
Dahlquist, right?
changing?
Dana Dahlquist, yeah.
Sorry, Dana Dahlquist.
It's been a
Double D.
it's been a project.
So what is it? Why'd you recreate it? It was
No,
it's been
because I was
pretty
hitting
good.
it. I was hitting it poorly. Can I say shitty?
Yeah.
I was hitting it like dog shit for 3 years.
Yeah, there you go.
I was tired of it, so
How big of a process is that to go through? I mean, because you're saying it's a pretty big swing change. Like, how long does that take, and when do you finally feel comfortable?
yeah, it was big. I mean, it's really big, to be honest. I started working with him, I think, like November last year, or so like 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So it's been, a year and change now, and I'd say easily it took me 8 months to like feel comfortable
to feel decent?
in a tournament. No, it feel fine. Like it took me 6 months for it to feel like good ever.
Yeah.
I mean, like where I could do it on
Where
the
you weren't
golf
just
course.
thinking of everything.
Yeah, and then 8 months really, probably till I could do it in a tournament. But it's still, I mean, there's still conscious thought, of course, but it's way like. I think the path, I just have way more understanding of what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I think by trial and error as well, like I might be trying to do something and you might try and do the same thing, but we might have to think about different things in order to do it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, for sure.
And so figuring out the things that I need to be conscious of and the certain things that kind of affect my ball flight or whatever. And you have to correlate them, right? You have to correlate like, oh, when I feel this, like generally this happens. And until you can do that under pressure.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing is under pressure. Like you can go do all this work. It's great on the range. Okay, it's great on a practice round.
Yeah.
But once the pressure amps up, you're going to revert back to those old habits. And it's how do you keep from doing that?
100%. And the fact is, I believe that you'll always revert in some way that direction, right? Like if you don't think that you're going to do that, like I think you're oblivious. And so
Yeah, you trained your whole life to swing it that way.
Right.
Now you're changing it.
Right. So I think being ready for that and having a couple thoughts that you have that can kind of at least get you back dialed in a little bit is huge. And that's kind of the direction that I've gotten lately. And it's funny, like even I had a really good off season. And then, I actually did a bunch of golf club work. It's interesting how like all those things intermingle. Like you start swinging the club differently and it doesn't, like,
now you need to be flatter or more.
Kind of, yeah. It was interesting. Like it was significant. Like I've never really been that into equipment, but the stuff that I did this winter was pretty eye opening, and it's kind of matched up with the things that I'm working on in my swing, which is really good.
Well, you did it just recently at Pebble. I mean, you had a hell of a tournament. You were right there on 18, chance to eagle, potentially get in a playoff. That's got to get, and you're hitting some fucking good shots down the stretch. Like that drive on 18, like and driver's been kind of the thing for you. That's got to be. Right. Until you do it in competition, it actually shows up. You got to, like, there's some questioning, I feel like, until that actually happens.
100%. And it's funny, I missed the cut at Sony, missed the cut at Torrey, and both of those tournaments, I left feeling like my game was in good shape. And you know how, like, it's amazing how tight the margins are between playing well and not scoring well, and playing well and scoring really well, right? And so I knew my game was in good shape, but it's, I do like an interview after the third round and, the guy's asking me questions, but I can tell like the tone of it is like, basically like, you've been playing like dog shit. Like, where's this coming from? Right. But as a player, I'm like, no, I've been playing well. Like, but you get tired of saying that when you're not actually scoring well.
Well, you just see a score at the end of the day. It's like 73.
It's a score. Shit, score.
Like he's obviously.
I don't ask you how you shot 77 sleeves. I just know the 77.
You just know I get the job done, bro.
Correct, because I know you're getting those pops.
100%.
But you look at Torrey Pines. I mean, the cut's 3 under par there, which it's a joke. It's a major championship golf course. Right. I know the north is a little easier, but the fairways are 12 yards wide. It feels like.
Right.
And didn't you shoot 2 under at Torrey?
I did. Yeah,
I mean, that's not bad golf.
No, it's funny you say that because the first round I play the south first, and I don't care. The weather was fantastic, but you were there, right? Okay, the rough was up.
Yeah.
I mean, it was 4 inches, and it's standing straight up over seed rye, and it's thick with kikuyu. I mean, if you miss the fairway, you're in trouble. And I think if you were to ask most guys on tour any day of the year to go shoot even par at Torrey, you've done okay.
Hell yeah.
You know what I mean? Par or better, you're on the south, you've done well. So I shoot 1 over, and I'm like, all right, that's fine. But I'm in the back of my head, I'm like seeing these scores in the north. I'm like, geez, like this cut's probably going to be a couple under, which even a couple under is like low there.
That's one you just feel like it's got to be even at best.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's
and
an over.
That's how hard they've made the north. It's not like a layup anymore. It's not like go shoot 68
I mean,
over
the
there.
best way I could describe the north is, it used to be like very short.
Yeah.
They've got 11 or 12 like quality, fairly difficult holes. The difference is you can just destroy the par 5s because they're all like very reachable, and there's 2 borderline drivable par 4s. So you got 6 like really good opportunities, whereas like on the south you basically have none because you can't reach the par 5s.
Yeah.
And the greens on the north are redone, bent. They're pure. Like you can fill it up on the north, and then the south you're like knee knocking 4-footers all day.
But it just shows you too, like how good the quality of golf has gotten too. And I think the average viewer at home wouldn't realize how much the cut going from 70 in ties to 65 in ties changed things. Like it's made some cuts, just weird numbers.
Right. And so I haven't seen these numbers directly, but I had heard, they basically ran the numbers the 1, 2, or 3 years before they changed it to 65, and they said that it would have affected like 3 cuts a year or something, right?
That's it.
Well, I just think people play whatever the amount is. Yeah. It's gonna be like players are gonna play well enough to make the cut, if that makes sense. So like that happened, and then something like the first 6 out of 8 events that they changed the cut, like it actually affected it. Mm-hmm. And so, you talk to like some of the older guys on tour, maybe that have been out here at least like just call it 10 or 12 years, whatever. And a lot of them would say like the cut, generally if you shot under par, you'd pretty much make most of the cuts. And nowadays, I mean, you're seeing cuts at literally 5, 6 under par sometimes out in Vegas. It's like 3 under par seems normal.
Yeah, Corn Ferry numbers.
Well, that's a great example of what you just said, how, when they did the research, it didn't affect it. But then if you think like, say you're even par and you're T67 in the old days and you got 15 feet, it's like, okay, let's just
down in 2.
Yeah. We don't need to run this by. Now, if you're T67, you're like, okay, I got to make this.
You got to hoop it.
Yeah.
I think it's totally a strategic thing. Mm-hmm. And also, I think likely in the difference in, let's just call it a 10-year age group, is like success at an early age is like way more acceptable now. Mm-hmm. And it's like players come out at 21 to 25 and play awesome golf, win golf tournaments, win majors. Whereas like before, when I grew up, when I was, 10 years old, whatever, like it seemed to me like 30 was like considered pretty young on tour.
Yeah, it was.
That was like your prime.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And now you're seeing, obviously you guys know, I mean, a lot of the best players in the world are literally 24, 25, 26, 27 years old. Mm-hmm. And so I think that there's a different attitude, but with the younger players, I think it's like, look, we're going to go freaking eat this place alive, no matter what it's like.
And they can do it.
And they can do it.
They're doing it. There just used to be like one guy. Maybe it would come out. Now it's like there's flocks of them coming out. Well, you were not too terrible as a young little pup coming up. Said you've been making tweets since you were in braces. 17 years old, you led the U.S. Open at Olympic. Mm-hmm. Looking back on now that you've had more time to be in the pro ranks, you're grizzled vet, like I said. Do you look back on that and just be like, holy shit, I was 17. Like I didn't even know what I was.
Second U.S. Open.
What I was doing, and it was your second. Yeah.
But I also look at that like tournament, in my opinion, as difficult as it is, when you go play that event with no expectation, it's like par's your friend. Like, when is that ever the case on tour? Like, you go shoot 2 over on the front, you're like, it's all good. Like, let me get in the house at a couple over, and you're in contention. Shoot 2 over on the front in Vegas, like, I might as well not play the next day. Literally, I have to shoot 59 to make the cut.
Book a nightclub.
But it's hard as shit to shoot 2 over.
Yeah, it is. Like, but I think it's easier. Like, in my opinion, when you play a harder course, like I even still prefer to play harder courses because there's way more to it than just like, let me go hit driving range shots. You have to like play the game. You have to be smart. You have to strategize. You have to miss in the right places. And like, I think that starts to like narrow down the amount of players that can really like contend versus you go play Palm Springs, the MX, like can kind of spray it wherever. You get a pretty mint lie. You're hitting wedge on every hole. The greens are pretty flat. And it's like, there's just not that much penalty for like making mental errors. And basically it's like it's a putting contest and a wedge contest, Yeah,
I think that's why you see, like, not to just over talk Torrey Pines, but the best of the best rise to the top at Torrey Pines, it seems like. I mean, you don't fake it around that place.
No, no. And to be fair, like I was saying earlier, any day of the year that you play there, it's a little bit of firmness on the greens and maybe an inch more of rough away from a legit U.S. Open golf course.
Yeah,
on any given day.
Okay, but you have the success at the U.S. Open at 17. You played great in junior golf. Obviously, you're on a national scene now, playing well at a major championship. Was there any thought of maybe bypassing college and getting started early?
No.
Good.
I just no. It wasn't even a consideration. I mean, I think that's incredibly like short-sighted, right? To just think that you can play. Forget if it's a U.S. Open or a Korn Ferry event or whatever, but like you play good 1 week. I mean, everybody. I mean, you've broken par before.
Yeah, dude.
He's looking at Sleaze when he said that. For our audio listeners.
Couple of times,
And
bro.
so I'm just saying that
You've seen
anybody
it.
can black out for a period of time.
Yes.
And it wasn't just 1 week. I played awesome that whole summer. Like, I won the Junior World at Torrey Pines, which is, again, challenging event. And, I think that's short-sighted. Like, I think that there's value in playing to the appropriate competition and winning and contending, right? Because it's tough. I mean, I look at, like, I was glad this week having played at Pebble and being in contention. And I know I didn't win, but like I felt more calm then than I do in 20th place.
Interesting.
And I don't know why that is. But I was really, really glad to feel like that again, because the fact is like, if you're not playing great golf and you're on the PGA Tour, you're not playing that many rounds that you have a chance to win a golf tournament. And so you're not putting yourself in a position to, you can't recreate the feeling that you have then, right? Like it only shows up when you're literally doing it. And so I was excited about the fact that I felt really, really, really freaking good. And I felt like I could win this tournament, no problem. Now it came down to literally a score. Like I just didn't play well enough, but it was not like I'm not mentally prepared to win.
Did you feel more comfortable because you feel more comfortable with your swing now after all this time, and you knew like this thing's in a good spot, I'm doing it over and over, as opposed to like trying to grind to make the cut? You're like, it's not all the way clicking here, but maybe I can just get to the weekend.
I think the difference is, I mean, certainly like the technical aspect helps because I feel like the dispersion's tighter, right? Like the misses are smaller, and I feel like I have a really good idea of what I'm trying to do, like I was saying earlier. But the main thing is when I'm playing well, I was glad to not get ahead of myself. I never thought about winning the golf tournament. I knew, I was 3 over through 5 holes, like not from like a nervy start. It was literally like the wind was all over the place. We misjudged it a couple times. It cost me. And then I kind of got to like the meat of the golf course. Like, like basically once you hit hole 8, you're kind of hanging on basically the whole way in, especially if there's any wind from the north, because the whole back nine's into the wind. It's brutal. And I was freaking playing awesome. Like I was hitting quality shot after quality shot after quality shot, but I was never thinking beyond the shot that was in front of me. And I feel like sometimes when I'm in 20th place, I'm like trying to intentionally finish hot instead of just like, let me just take this and do the best that I can with it, be the most committed that I can, and whatever it is, right? Like I think it's almost easier for me to swallow losing the tournament, knowing that I didn't get ahead of myself and I was just very committed to what I was doing. And I did a really good job of that, and it's freaking hard to do.
I think this is going to be Sleaze's most important episode to date for his preparation for the Mid-Am next year, because he's one of those guys, he goes out for the qualifier and he birdies the first hole and he starts writing his master's acceptance speech.
I've got every speech written already.
You got it written?
No matter what I win, Grammy, Oscar, Masters, it's dialed.
See, this is great. You should go back and listen to this before you tee it up.
Yeah, I'm not big into the one shot at a time. I'm more like one good shot, think about
where
4
are we
days
going
later.
Right.
Yeah, what are we going to do with all this money?
Right.
That's more what I'm
from the
about.
Mid-Am.
You know what I'm talking about? From the Mid-Am.
Right.
There's some
All this money from
NIL,
Under the table,
NIL, dude. You know what it's like. You went to
unofficial
Texas.
prize
You went
money.
to Texas for a reason. I know you know what I'm talking about.
Hey, yeah, but why,
Hated USC.
why Texas, being a California kid?
I just I love the coach. Coach Fields is awesome. I don't know how well you know him, Colt, but he's the best.
Told me I sucked in high school, but whatever.
Yeah, he's got a good eye.
Was
for
he right?
talent.
Well, I don't know. It worked out all right. Got me to a podcast.
There you go. So I love the coach. Obviously, the school's great. Academically, like I was in business school there. But I think the main thing for me was being around really good players. Seeing players go there and develop and become tour players and having success out here is huge. And having that competition on a day-to-day basis, as well as in California, I grew up playing on Kikuya and ryegrass, which is like the easiest thing ever to play on. And there was like a learning curve on playing in Bermuda and playing in weather that wasn't perfect every day. And I think it made me better. I mean, I was literally inept on Bermuda the day I showed up at campus. Like I would go play junior tournaments in Florida, like at Sawgrass, and I couldn't chip. I couldn't make a 4-footer that was like a cross grain putt, like all these things. And if you're not, you grew up on that.
Yeah.
But if you don't grow up on that, like it's different, and it takes a lot of experience. And so, I mean, literally the first 6 months at Texas, like I've struggled to chip, and my short game's like I'm a good short game player.
That's what you do, yeah.
Right? And so it took me a while, and you know, even still, like I strongly prefer playing. Like I love the West Coast swing. Like I love Poana. I love Kikuya. I love overseeded rye like we have this week in Phoenix. And I think it's easier than when we go over and play the Honda and you're chipping off some tight, you know, grainy Bermuda.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it's tough. And it's tough even for people that grew up playing on that. But if you didn't, if I didn't have that experience going to Texas, like I would probably still struggle significantly more than I do.
It's like learning a language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you start
It's very
early,
different.
it's way easier. You start at 20, it's hard.
100%.
Well, I know you had a lot of success in college, particularly your junior year, win the Haskins Award. You decided to turn pro a year early.
Right.
Take us through that process, because I mean you're a year away from graduating. You know, one more year of maybe some more success in college, but you decided to turn early. What went through that decision?
I think that you're always weighing. I mean, you're weighing opportunities, right? It's opportunity costs. Like, what was the cost of me going back to school? The cost was, if I say I just go play okay, I play good, but I played awesome my junior year. I mean, I won 6 times. I won the Haskins Award. Like, in a way, I felt like I was ready to compete professionally. And that's the majority of the reason, right? It's like I would never advise someone to go and play at any level until they're ready to actually compete. Like if you don't think you can go and contend, I don't think it's worth playing. So that's the first thing. I thought I was ready to play. Second thing was I was in a really good position to get starts on the PGA Tour. I figured that I'd probably be able to get 6 or 7 starts, which I did. I had good financial sponsor opportunities in front of me, because I think, you know, for people at home, I don't think they understand how many people get caught in the rut of playing golf to like live, right? It's tough. If you don't have money to start your career, and I'm sure that you did, having won the US Amateur, like that's a big advantage.
It's huge.
And so I had that in front of me. And I think that whole combination of feeling like my game was ready, not having to play for money, and having opportunity to play at the highest level, I felt like I could go do it. And I really I kind of figured that out like halfway through the spring season, when I'd probably won, 3 or 4 tournaments at that time. And,
You won the Jones Cup that year too.
Yeah, I did. So yeah, I was playing well. I had won the Western Amateur the year before, and I felt like I was ready to go. And I blew my shoulder out the last tournament of the year at the national championship. And at that point, right, it's like, whoa, all right, well, how much of first, how bad is this injury? And it was pretty freaking bad. Because I blow my shoulder out on the semifinal of the national championship, and our team is stacked. I mean, literally, like basically our whole team's on the PGA Tour. And I can't play in the final, and I have to forfeit my point. So we're playing, it's 5-on-5. Well, you have to win 3 matches, and we just forfeited 1. So we have to win 3 out of 4 matches to win the national championship. And we ended up losing in a playoff to Oregon, which is brutal. But I'm thinking like, all right, I got the U.S. Open qualifier next week. I'm turning pro tomorrow, and I got the U.S. Open qualifier next week. Like I got to get my shoulder ready, even though I just dislocated it 5 times. Like it's all right. Like it's all good.
Whatever. Rub some dirt on it.
Yeah, just tape it up.
Yeah.
And I tried to like tape it up at that tournament. I didn't even know what a torn labrum was. Like, I had no idea. I just knew my freaking shoulder came out of socket multiple times and it hurt really bad. But and ended up being, I went and got a pin. I went and got a MRI. And the whole like back capsule of my shoulder was blown out, like the entire thing. And so like if I were to try and do like a plank, like basically it wasn't even sturdy enough to hold it in place. So the first doctor, he's like, you need to get surgery. I'm like, what do you know?
You're just a doctor.
I'm like, who are you?
Yeah,
like, what are you, a doctor?
I did 3 years of business school.
Right. I mean, are you kidding me? Yeah. I went to class like at least half the time.
Exactly. I'm no rook.
Right. And so I ended up going and seeing Dr. Dan Cooper in Dallas, Cowboys doctor. You know him?
Oh, yeah.
Great dude. And he told me, he's like, you have to do this. I'm like, all right. If 2 guys told me I got to do it, I got to do it. So
2 doctors told me they're probably right.
Right.
He does the Cowboys. He's probably all right.
Yeah. And I told him I did 3 years business school. I'm like,
yeah,
you can't just
listen,
slide
I
this
just said
past me.
opportunity cost in this podcast.
Right.
Clearly, I went to business
Correct.
school. Yeah.
And so he's like, you got to do it. I'm like, okay. I'm like, how long is it? Like a month? He's like, no, you're not going to touch a golf club for 4 months. And then you're going to play in your PGA Tour debut and swing 11 miles an hour slower than you did when you tore your shoulder. Great. Oh, perfect.
Sounds
okay,
good.
cool. Yeah, I'll turn pro tomorrow. So anyways, I did. I was very lucky to have like my sponsor stick by me that we had obviously worked on these deals. They were ready to go. And, there was like, we had to construct them a little differently, but like they were solid. And that was a really big deal, especially with like uncertain. You don't know how you're going to come back immediately from that. I was confident that if I got healthy again, which I felt good about, that I would play great golf, but I didn't know if that meant in 6 months or a year or 2 years. I'd never even had a surgery before. And so, anyways, surgery went great. I busted my ass in the rehab. I mean, it was literally 3 to 4 hours a day, every day for 5 months. So, I did that. It was nice to not have to juggle school. Like I literally woke up and just grinded rehab. Started 3 days after surgery. Most people start 6 weeks after, and just grinded. But yeah, I mean, I still Colt, you would agree with this. Like there are so many players that are physically talented enough to compete at a high level, but they're not. Like the difference is the guys that believe that they can and then actually go and do it when it matters, right? And so I've never lost that. Like even though I wasn't physically in great form when I came back, like it took me a full year to like get any kind of resemblance of speed back. Like I ended up playing my 6 or 7 exemptions on tour. Like I said, like literally 10 or 11 miles an hour club speed slower.
That's a big change. I mean,
it's huge. I mean, and I wasn't
that's
long.
not just the driver. I mean, that's
everything. I'm hitting 6
Yeah.
irons from like 170, and right now I'm hitting.
What are you saying?
I was
That's
playing
a hybrid,
Colt
bro.
Knost golf.
See how hard that
and
shit
I didn't
is.
hit it long then, and I mean I hit it significantly longer now than I did even before I hurt my shoulder. But I go and play those exemptions, and I don't make enough points to even get in the corn finals. And then, golf's freaking crazy, man. I go and Monday qualified and 40 mile an hour winds in Wichita. Like, when you would know what this is.
Talking.
When you're driving, I was driving a Tahoe. When you're driving a Tahoe on the freeway and it's blowing you between lanes, like that's when it's blowing. And that's what it was like. It was honestly probably perfect for a Monday qualifier because if it wasn't, it would have been like 9 under to get through, and it only took 2 under.
God, moving a Tahoe and a golf ball.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Mondays in Wichita.
Monday qualify, finish second, and just get it rolling. That got me enough points. I had no stat. Oh, so the point was I didn't get to go to Q school because I was hurt.
Yeah.
So I had no status. And so I, get status on the Korn Ferry Tour. At the time, it was the Web.com tour, and ended up just in those 12 events making enough. They did money back then, making enough money to get my card.
Yeah.
Just quick like that. Just
Like
second,
yeah,
like
I mean,
bam,
so I
I'm
went
back.
from literally no status on any tour
To tour.
PGA Tour in June to what is September's Napa, right? 3 months.
Yeah, just a handful of events, like 12.
He finished 23rd.
Did that even surprise you, though, coming off the injury? Like, all right, I'm just back playing. I got no status anywhere. Let's do some of these Mondays. Like, you're a great player. You're soon to get in, but, like, playing your way on a tour is a different deal.
Yeah, but it's kind of like what I was saying earlier about, like, playing golf at Pebble yesterday. Like, I was just trying to take it literally one round at a time. Like, I have no status. Like, if I start trying to, like, do this, I'm like, let me get into a place where let me play in an event that if I play well, I can actually, like, parlay this and see if I can play well. And I did. And so, yeah, it's kind of, it's crazy how the game of golf works. Like, sometimes great results come out of nowhere. Other times you're playing really well and not seeing anything, and then it pops, and it's just it's a crazy game.
Didn't you go into the last event in Portland, 25th?
25th.
So you were right there. Like, dude, that's great. A nerve right. Like, make the cut, probably okay. Miss, dirt nap.
So I'm 25th, and it's weird because the way those weeks work is like all you ever see is the freaking projections. Yeah. Like, that's all you see. And I'll give you an example. Say the guy who's 90th, right? He tees off first on Thursday and makes a birdie. They project him number one. They give him $500,000, $600,000 at the time, and they're like, "Oh, he's projected number winning. 3 in the standings." You're like, "Okay, well, I just got bumped because homie just made a birdie on the first hole." You know what I mean? So all you see is that, and you try and stay away from it, but it is what it is. I knew going in that I figured, and it was funny, like I had played, since I didn't get status till kind of late in the year, I'd played a bunch. Like I'd played like 13 tournaments in a row. This was my 13th tournament in a row. And I am beat ass tired. And I'm like, I just need to grind this week out. Like I'm not in good form at all. Like, frankly, a top 20 would be like, I got a lot out of it. And I kind of just went into it with the attitude I was telling you about, like the last round at Pebble. So I'm like, I'm just going to literally take one shot at a time, because at least if I don't play well, I know the process was as good as it could be. And I ended up finishing, I think I finished like 20th, 19th in the tournament. And I think I finished maybe like 23rd or something on the points list or the money list.
Yeah. Finish 23rd and get your PGA Tour card.
Right. So, good story about that week. So I go play the Wednesday Pro-Am that week. And the next morning I'm teeing off like 8 a.m. It's like a noon shotgun. And it's I believe the tournament is sponsored by Winco.
Winco, yes.
Which is a grocery store. Grocery store Pro-Ams, they're flying everybody in.
The best.
And I'm going to go with minimum 50% of the amateurs have never touched a golf club before.
Beautiful prep, dude.
And I show up to it was in carts, which was big. And I meet the people that I'm playing with. They go, "Oh, we're from so-and-so." Great. Yeah, we're really excited. It's our first time. I'm like, "Oh, first time Pumpkin Ridge?" Like, "No, first time playing golf." I'm just like, "Yeah, can't wait."
There we go.
Right, and so it was 6 hours till I think they blew the horn at 5.5 hours, and we had played 14 holes. And I'm like, this is just the ideal prep for the 25 guy on the money list before he's going for his tour card the next week.
Teaching the Havercams how to grip it. Yeah.
And so I make the cut, and I get paired with Jason Gore on Saturday.
Yes.
That's my dad.
And I am thrilled because, I'm nervous, man. I mean, it's a big, big freaking week. I mean, it's arguably the biggest week, honestly, of golf in my life to this point even.
Yeah, it's like final stage of Q school.
Right, it is.
Final round.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I get paired with Jason Gore, and he is just, he's the best. And it really like lightened the mood, and it helped me out a lot.
It's crazy how, it shouldn't matter, but when you get that good pairing,
it matters.
Oh,
it does. I don't care what anybody Every sports psychologist say it shouldn't fucking matter, but it does matter.
It matters. It absolutely freaking matters. You want to get to a place where it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
But the fact is like, some dudes that you get paired with, you're like, ugh. And then other guys, you are thrilled, right? Just because like, it's nice to have some chill stuff in between shots even.
Just a dude you can talk to that you don't hate.
Shoot the shit. Like, talk about get whatever, football, whatever. Like, it's a long round, man. Like, you're out there, close to 5 hours, and 5 hours of important shots is mentally grueling. Like, it's a lot of. I think there's a big advantage to being able to really dial in your focus for short periods of time and then somehow get away from it. And I just think if you get that type of pairing, it has to help in that regard.
The best in the world that I've ever seen at that, as far as just like he focuses for a short amount of time and get away. One of the best, Pat Perez. Like, it is greatness to me. He goes and hits a shot,
Right.
whatever, assesses himself, cusses himself, and then he's over there talking about what happened in the basketball game that night.
Right.
It's really cool to watch.
Right. Yeah, I think it's a big advantage to be able to do that, because I think you're sharper if you only have to focus for an hour and a half instead of 5 hours.
I know you said you've been really, really good at not getting ahead of yourself, but I want to go to Houston when you had a really good chance to win on the PGA Tour.
Yep.
And Ian Poulter just buried another putt over here in America to
Right.
force a playoff.
Yep.
Give me when the ball was rolling to the hole, give me your thoughts.
Well, can we put the rewind?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I don't want you to quote me on these numbers, but they're pretty close. When we were on hole 11, I was like 4 back.
Mm-hmm.
You've played that course.
Yeah.
It's pretty gettable, but there's also shit everywhere.
Yeah.
So, I make I think I made 4 birdies in like a 6-hole stretch to get tied for the lead. Going into hole 18. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I was 4 back. I think I made 4 birdies and he had made a bogey. I had a one-shot lead,
Yeah.
going into hole 18. And that tee ball is brutal. Like, brutal. And, like, the whole field just blows into the right bunker.
Blows it right bunker.
Right. Well, here's the problem,
obviously.
dude. 190-yard bunker shot with that green when it's like there was fairly significant wind off the right is not fun.
Trying to win for the first time.
Right.
Yeah.
And so I blow it in the bunker, and I hit I freaking hate fairway bunkers. Like, I hate them.
They're impossible.
And like, you put that circumstance, I'm like, it's fucking brutal. So I hit a sick 8-iron from it's like 180, and I'm like, I'm just gonna ship this thing, and I hammer this 8-iron right at it. It comes like short of this ridge, and I'm gonna say 25 feet, and Ian Poulter hits it 5 feet in front of me on the exact same line. And I don't remember if I had him move his coin or not, but it was literally the same putt. And I'm like, I got to fucking make this. Like, he's a really good putter. I'm going to literally show him what this putt does. And
hey, Ian, don't watch this.
Close your eyes.
I hit like, honestly, as good as a putt as I could ever ask to hit.
It was so
literally
filthy.
drip
So
speed,
filthy.
high side, balls breaking right to left with right to left wind with no pace, hits the right edge and like
With
straightens and goes an inch past, tap it in. And I told Gilf, my caddy at the time, I go, sure as shit, he's gonna make this.
It's disgusting, isn't it?
Well, I just showed him the line. I'm saying, like, I'm a good putter.
Yeah.
If someone shows me the line and the greens are true, which those greens when they overseeded were as good as you would play on tour,
Agree.
I'm like, he's gonna fucking hoop this. And he hit it dead. He hit a perfect putt. And give him credit. I mean, this was not like he kind of like willed in. Like,
No,
dude,
he
this
was
was in
walking
the
that
gut.
thing.
Yeah, this as soon as he hit, he's like, I just watched this putt not snap towards the water. If it does the same thing, which it's going to do, it's going to go right in the fucking middle. And it went right in the middle. And so, we go back and play that hole again.
But even though he made it, you showed him a great line, was there still did you feel like you get punched in the gut a little bit?
No, I honestly knew he was going to make it.
Okay.
He hit you with
Yeah.
He hit
Chest
you with
pound.
that
Yeah,
too.
that
I
was-
felt like he was trying to set the tone for the playoff right there.
That's fine. I mean, look, he hit a freaking hell of a putt, man. Like, what are you going to do?
And birdie in that
Yeah,
hole,
but not
man,
on my
it's
guy Beau. Don't do Beau like that.
It's the hardest hole in the course.
Such
It's
a
arguably one of the
brutal
harder
tee-ball.
finishing holes in golf.
Yeah.
And he made a unbelievably clutch birdie. I don't think he had won on tour in a long time.
Yep.
At least 3,
Yeah.
4, 5 years. I mean, that was huge.
That was like his
And-
kind of revitalization.
Yeah, and not to mention, like, I had just freaking, like, punched him in the mouth on the back nine. Like, we weren't head and head the whole time. Like, I fell behind early, and I was, like, coming back. So it was unbelievable. I've given him all the credit in the world. It was a hell of a putt. And, we got in the playoff, and I hit it in the right bunker. And he's going to make par. He has to 2-putt from 18 feet. And that right bunker shot, as you know, is just brutal. And so I tried to freaking hit it tight, and I hit it too far in the water, and obviously it's ball game at that point. But no, I mean, again, that was a moment where I was 3-4 back with 8 to play. I'm like, look, I'm gonna freaking dial in every shot to the best of my ability, and if they go in, they go in. If they don't, they don't. But like, what are you gonna do? I felt calm again in that moment, which is awesome. And you hear people talk about that, and it sounds like bullshit, but I think that that's something that, going back to the thing where I said, like, I think it's important to play where you can compete, right? Like, you can't replace that experience of feeling those emotions. And I think that every time you experience them, you get better, especially if you can ideally, like, kind of run them together, where there's not, like, such a big time in between, but can't replace that. I don't think there's any way to practice that feeling.
Yeah. Well, the game's obviously gotten a lot better.
Yeah.
I mean, you're in a great place right now. You've always been a great putter. The swing's continuing to get better.
Yep.
I would imagine big things are coming for Beau Hossler. And by big things, I mean the emergency 9.
Oh.
Yes.
Oh, God.
It's an emergency.
Don't do the quick hitters.
It's an emergency. First question, where'd you get that jacket? Love that shit.
Can I tell the Kelly Craft quote on this?
Yeah, what was it?
So we're in the airport at Monterey. I'm wearing a, is this on film or is this a radio?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You too.
Both?
I got a little, I don't even know what you call it. It's maybe a suede bomber.
It's Peter
That's
Millar
a suede. Yeah, I don't know the name of it. It's suede, though. Let's go with that.
Well, I'm not like a fashion guy. Pretty much my entire wardrobe is just golf clothes that I got for free. So Kelly comes up to me in the airport yesterday. He goes, you know him, he's like, guy's
He's
always
Mr. Fashion.
dressed to the nines, like got his Gucci shoes on, the whole nine. He goes, you can't hide money. And I go, you're wrong. You can't hide shop credit, because I would never buy this thing. I got this off of the Peter Millar gift card that I got.
This is Pete Miller.
Shout out Peter Millar.
Petey.
Yeah.
Todd Martin.
Appreciate you.
What up?
Yeah. Toddy.
All right, we asked this to everyone. Number 1, trade lives with anyone for a day, dead or alive. Who's it going to be? You get to be them whole day.
Oh, man, that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I'd say Tiger Woods, but I mean, the fame deal sounds pretty brutal.
It's just a day.
Yeah, I could do it for a day. I'd be a Tiger for a day.
You be all right for a day?
Yeah,
Hang out.
I mean,
Just
like,
Tig?
I don't know about Tiger right now, but like
2000 Tiger.
Yeah, that'd be pretty.
You can
freaking
pick a
sick.
day. You
Yeah.
can run that 97 Masters back and
Yeah.
just cruise around and
Yeah.
get,
Yeah.
slurp the whole way.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be a bad deal.
That is a good
Wouldn't
one.
be-
I'll go with that.
Wouldn't be the worst thing. All right. You get one night out on 6th Street in Austin with one UT alum of any sport ever. Who you want to spend? Who are you hanging with?
Ooh.
Good one.
See, these are supposed to be like quick answers. The problem is you ask
You're
for a
too
quick
much. You're
answer.
like a thinker, though.
I know.
So, but like,
That's
but stew on
every
this.
time I do something like this. This is
Stew
my
on
least
this
favorite
a little
thing.
bit.
All right.
There's a lot of options.
So it has
there.
to be a sportsman from
No,
Texas.
it could be any UT alum.
Oh, any UT.
Any UT alum ever. One night, but you're going to send it. You ever been to 6th Street? You ever heard of it?
Party. Yeah, it's the worst.
Oh, it's the worst?
It's too dirty, dude. Too loud.
Well, there's dirty.
more like-
isn't there like
You're not wearing your
36
suede
and
jacket
it's
to 6th
Yeah,
Street.
dude, you show up
No,
in that, bro.
no.
You're getting taken care of.
No.
You know what I mean? Show this guy velvet
Right.
ropes.
I might go Colt McCoy on this one, actually.
Oh.
He did
That'd
it.
probably be a fun night.
New
did it
Scottsdale
big.
resident.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
He's in the house.
Yeah.
He's in the
Great
house.
dude.
C-Mac.
And his younger brother, Case, I was actually in school with when he was playing at Texas. Another great dude.
Yeah.
Good family.
It's the whole fam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Colt McCoy somehow still in the league, made a bazillion.
Yeah.
I don't think he's had to get hit in a while.
Oh, he
Dude, he's kind of nice when he comes in, though.
stepped in for
Smart
Kyler, won
dude.
2 games.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
stepped in. He might be stepping in a lot
Oh, that's
more.
yeah. He's playing for the Cardinals. That's right.
Might be stepping in a lot more.
All right, on your PGA Tour profile, he's got all these nice accolades, all this thing, but under special interests, it's empty.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So either talk to your management team, or is it just that you don't have any special interests?
No, my special interest is the Los Angeles Dodgers
Okay.
and broad NFL football. Chargers fan, but I'd love let's put it this way. If it's baseball, I'm not watching unless Dodgers are playing.
Okay.
I will watch any NFL game.
Did you get to meet Mookie Betts at Pebble?
I did.
Oh no, is there a backstory?
Sounded like
I was really pumped. I mean, like, I never met the guy.
Yeah.
He's just quiet, which is cool, but like, I'm not. And so I was trying to kind of shoot the shit with him, and it just kind of wasn't.
He wasn't having it.
No, I wasn't having it. He didn't know I had 2 Dodgers head covers on my bag.
Yeah, you should know.
Playing with Jar Jar Spawn.
Jar Binks. Jar Jar Spawn. I like that. All right, next one. Who do you think completes their college degree online first? You or Colt?
Ooh.
You're both right there, guys.
Yeah,
a couple of bullshit online classes away from.
No, mine aren't bullshit. That's the problem. What was your major?
It's like speeding tickets.
I think when I quit
Communications?
sociology.
Okay, yeah,
we didn't
exactly.
really have any
Probably Colt because I have to actually do an internship.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna do it though.
You are.
Sure. Yeah, I will.
You have to do an internship?
Yeah, for business school.
What do you got to do?
Sociology, you didn't have to do it.
No, he can just cruise. He can probably,
I don't know what the hell you had to do.
I think he can do it tonight if he
How
wants
many years
to.
did you have left though?
I had 18 hours left.
Okay, yeah, you're in front of me too.
I got 3 jobs though. I don't have time for that shit.
All right. Well, it sounds like the motivation's in my corner. I'm gonna
Yeah,
go with me.
like you saying that whole thing about believing you can do it. Yeah, I don't believe I can.
Okay,
do it.
Colt.
no, I'll do it then.
Got me thinking. We could use a good intern here on
Also,
Subpar, dude. We got a lot of copies that need to be made, Red Bulls,
You're also out of tequila.
and transfusions that need to be fetched. We're out of tequila. See, that would never happen if you were
That's
here.
why I'm on the LaCroix.
We're gonna
training
offer that
up.
up. If you need real world business experience, we'll hire you.
I mean, that's the thing. I mean,
For free.
Colt, to go back and finish at SMU, Colt's gonna have to forfeit like 5 years worth of salary here at the Subpar Media Co.
Can't
Smooth.
do that. I like to live a rather lavish lifestyle.
Oh, I know.
That doesn't work for me. All right. I like that question. That was good, though.
Thank you.
All right. Let's say we go back in time to that Houston Open putt. Okay. Ian Poulter's going to miss it. But in order for him to miss it, you have to dress like Ian Poulter for the rest of your career. Will you do it?
You look
Like,
good.
are we talking Ian Poulter like present day? Because that's not. That's
No,
fine.
back in the
Like
early
the
Ian
gold,
Poulter
the
days.
all
Like,
gold, everything.
all gold.
Frosted
When it
tip.
was his design, the IJ.
And you got to wear the little
Oh,
baby visor, not the big boy diesel like real dudes wear.
I gotta wear the Lane Kiffin.
You got to
visor.
wear the little. I have a name for it, which I won't say, but you go wear that visor, the baby one,
That's an unbelievable question.
the baby one, bro. Think of you in a
But
baby
all right,
visor.
let me ask you this:
frosted tips. Oh.
I got
You'd
a
be all right
frosted.
tipped up. You're from Mission Viejo.
You're basically just going
But
to
here, okay, but here's
grew
the
up with it.
question: you said that he's not gonna make the putt.
Yeah, you win.
Okay,
so you win.
You win.
Right, I win, but I'm saying if he makes it, am I still going to the playoff?
No.
No, if
What do you mean,
You're
no?
making this too
If he
hard.
makes
You
it, I go
lost.
to the playoff.
Okay, you win Houston.
No wonder you never graduated business school, bro.
You get to win Houston. No matter how the hell it done, you win Houston, but you have to dress like Ian Poulter back in the day.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think I'll take my chances winning a different tournament.
Okay, perfect.
Is it the clothes more so that leads you to that, or the visor, or the
Look,
baby visor?
If there was someone that's going to do it, like he did it. I
Yeah,
didn't
he did
love
it.
it, but I'm saying I respected it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, me wearing that stuff, those colors, like the big belt buckle, the frosted tips, like I couldn't respect myself.
God, you'd look great.
You would look nice.
Would the jack? Well, I'd have to get like a pink one.
You could warm up in that. That's like all day.
Oh, okay.
That's normal. You'd be like, oh, it's casual.
Yeah.
It's like your tearaways around. All right, next question. Does it concern you at all that my dog Grizz has not been the same ever since he ate a portion of your underwear at the Phoenix Open
and
a couple years
and
ago?
he buried the rest in
He
the backyard.
buried it.
And guess what? There's roses growing in that
He's
backyard,
been
in that
limping
desert
around ever
backyard.
since. He was so normal, and then he ate some of that and buried the rest, and
Yeah.
he's not the same dog,
I
dude.
know. Well, I heard he's big time, dude. He's Hollywood.
He
You couldn't
is.
even get him in the studio today.
I know, dude. He's got.
It's a
appearances
freaking
all
Monday
over.
night. What's he got going on?
He's never been the same though, but he's asking about you, so we'll get you back in there.
All right. Yeah, at the
Got another one now. Colt named him.
I did.
Yeah, Wally White.
Wally, Walter White.
Yeah, he's all
Oh,
white.
yeah,
he's
yeah, I've seen
all
him.
white Grizz.
Oh, really?
Yeah, dude, you'll love him.
I did name him.
He's a G.
All right. There's a website called famousbirthdays.com. Not sure if you're aware of it, but you can type in any name and it'll show, who, say it's June 26th.
Sure.
Most famous people in that. Well, you can also just type in a name. So you
Okay.
type in Beau, but yours is spelled Beau, so it's a little different.
French.
And it'll list off the most famous Beaus
Okay.
in order. Where do you think Beau Hossler ranks
Oh, God.
Oh shit.
in the world of famous Beaus?
BEAU bows though.
Yeah.
So no Jackson. Damn. Who's
I
a
mean,
famous bow?
maybe I'm being arrogant, but I
can't wait to hear this.
What do you got?
I don't think that I even know another person with my name that's spelled that way.
Is Schembeckler?
I don't know. I would
No,
say
he was BO.
I'd hope I'm in the top 10.
Yeah. Are you going to it?
Not even close. 100?
No, they don't list 100. First off, there's only like 7 Colts listed, and I'm not one of those.
Oh,
There's a lot of Beaus. First off, you lost
Really?
to a YouTube star named Beau Brooks.
Never heard of him.
Beau Biden. Rest in peace.
Yep.
There's a lot of them. You were number 47
Oh,
with the
shit.
BEAUs, but you made the list.
Yeah, you didn't even make it?
No,
There's only 7 Colts. You got McCoy.
they don't have a. But to be fair, they don't have a picture of you. It just says golfer, 26 years old.
Oh, dude. That's not the most flattering
47.
egg picture
All right.
of you.
47. Yeah.
Who are the Colts besides McCoy?
Colt Ford, number 1.
Colt
Oh,
Ford
yeah.
over Colt McCoy?
Yeah.
Really? I just saw Colt. Wow. He plays in that Pebble Beach every year.
Yeah.
Interesting. He
To be
swings
fair,
it.
though, looking at this list, you're the only Beau I've heard of.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So. Okay.
It's a
Well, there's a girl in front of me.
Shit.
There's
website.
a lot of TikTok stars, YouTube stars.
Was there
They
a
don't even
girl?
count.
Was that a girl named Beau right there on the top
Yeah,
left?
Beau Popman. She's 19, TikTok star.
Damn,
Beau
19.
Garrett, movie actress. She's 39.
Okay.
Yeah, you
All right,
gotta,
but hey, you made the list.
Yeah, I'm on it.
you gotta be
proud.
Top 50.
You gotta, yeah, top 50. You gotta be. I get you in Augusta. You gotta be heavier.
I don't
on
even know why I
TikTok.
looked at that. It just happened.
You gotta get heavier on TikTok. Been telling you that. All right, next question from me. Who spends more time in front of the mirror? Your pro scratch partner, Taylor Wood, before heading out to the range in the morning, or Beyonce before going on stage at the Super Bowl?
Oh, it's the mannequin.
T Wood,
Yeah,
the man.
100%. If there's one hair out of place, he ain't playing.
He WDs.
Correct.
He
I
makes
thought he
Adams.
just woke up perfect.
No, dude,
That's
there's a
what he
lot
wants.
of work.
He wants
it to
everything.
look
Yeah.
effortless. There's so much maintenance.
That's
in
the
that,
thing.
dude.
Sleaze is always like, oh yeah, I'm better looking, whatever. I think what Sleaze is getting at is he's just thinking he's lower maintenance.
Of course, dude. Look at the gear.
Yeah.
Just
Now, you
sweats.
came swagged out. You tuck those pants into the socks?
Well, it's my legs are too big. They don't go all the way down.
God. All right, last one. Most people your age, look up to Tiger Woods, idolize him that's in the golf world. Do you find it all weird at all that you modeled your golf swing after Colin Montgomery?
I did.
You used to. Yeah, see,
Nah,
it sucks that
he
you
changed
changed
your
because it was
shit.
so Monty
I
before.
know.
Is
The
it not
visor,
anymore?
the lower body out, the finish, it was Monty.
Is it not as much anymore?
No, it's very disappointing. I mean, I'm happy to see
It's
playing
way
better
not
golf.
Monty now. He used to be super vertical on
Yeah.
that vault through, scratching the butt.
Was that kind of was he your guy growing up?
No.
You ever gone on with Maury Povich and found out like maybe you are the
I don't know
he
why.
is
I
the
don't know why I
daddy?
did that. I think I still swing pretty similar. No.
Well, he was an incredible iron player.
He's one of the best. Yeah, he led the
I mean,
European Tour in ball striking like 100 times.
Yeah, what do you win the order mirror about 20 times? I guess maybe I should
Just
go back
printed.
to that.
Never rolled
Maybe
it
I
like
just
you.
hit that shaft as vertical at the finish as
Get
I
it
can.
up and down, scratch that ass.
Right.
That's how you know you finish in
If
the
I
right
can get
spot.
the driver head like touching the back of my knees, I'm in business.
If
Yep.
the wedge sticks in your butt crack, you know you're right. You're finishing on that left side.
Optimized.
That's it. Every teacher teaches it.
All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, the Beau Show. Thank you so much.
Thanks for
Love you,
having me.
doggy.
All right, well, that was Beau Hossler on Golf Subpar. Dude, he's a very well thought out dude. As you can tell in a lot of his answers, you and I, we kind of just, our mouth speaks faster than our brain goes. He sits there, he thinks about it, thinks about the proper response. We could teach him a lot.
I just start blurting out words and hope at some point in the middle I find it. He sits there, he contemplates, man. The guy is a thinker, and he's just such a good dude, too. I feel like not a lot of people have gotten to see that from Beau Hossler, but like he stayed with me at the Phoenix Open. He's always joking around, laughing. He gets on the course and gets a little more business like everybody else. But man, if this kid starts to play the way he can and starts winning some golf tournaments, you're going to see a lot more of him, and he's a really easy dude to root for.
You mentioned about when he stayed with you and your dog ate his underwear.
Yeah, he's never recovered.
Can you
bro.
confirm they were tidy whities?
These things were, I think they were a different size than they were now. The man's trimmed up a little bit. My dog went in there and got after his room a little bit like he's going to do. He was just a little pup at the time. And he came out, and I swear to God, the guy's never been the same. He dragged him outside and buried him in the yard. And he's been walking with a little limp.
forest
One of
grew
his
up back
eyes
there.
kind of points to the side now. He's always running into shit. I don't know what Beau's got going on, but he's a great dude, man. A really, really nice kid. Been, like you said, dude, been good from the jump. I mean, he was leading the U.S. Open wearing braces. And when he talked about it, he's like, yeah, it's an easier one to lead. Like, pars are great out there. I'm like, yeah, they're just
17.
handing pars out
Tiger
there. You're
Woods is in the
17.
field.
Everybody else in the field that's pretty damn good, been playing golf for 20 years. They're playing the same golf course. He was like, yeah, that's just, I didn't think I was ready. That's a pretty easy one to lead.
I love his pro-am story, playing with guys that have never played.
Oh.
First off, that's the worst. Like, I'm glad you're out there getting introduced to the game, but to play a pro-am on the PGA Tour or Korn Ferry Tour, like, we need to have, like, a handicap limit. I'll never forget one year at Colonial. I can relate to this. I get the scorecard, and it's like 2 handicap, 6 handicap, 10 handicap, and a 0. I'm like, oh, God, I got some
Hello.
players today.
Yeah.
So we get to it, and they announce the guys, and the guy that's a 0 tees up and whiffs it twice. I'm like, what the? I was like, what happened? Then he kind of just tops it off, and I'm like, you all right, bud? You a little nervous?
Scratch, huh?
I was like, it says you're a 0 handicap. He goes, oh, no, I've never played before.
That's just
So I
0
didn't-
rounds ever.
I was like, oh, my God. This is going to be a long day.
And by the way, like, if you've never played golf before, like, would you want your first ever experience to be in front of pros on a course where you got to more or less like add them up, and it kind of like, why not go to the range a few times, maybe cruise a 9 at the Muni, just kind of feel your way into it. I wouldn't want to just be thrown into that if I'd never played before.
It's time now to get to some gambling with our guys at FanDuel. Slays, we've been hot. We've been real hot. You had Victor Hovland last
burning
week.
bright.
You're close.
Tried.
He was there. I mean, final group. What more
Tried.
can you ask for? But it is on to the Honda Classic. Last week, we had the top 10 in the world all there. This week, they're all gone.
Perfect.
So
Somebody.
here we go.
Somebody
This one's
moving
going to
up.
be a tough one to bet. But I believe if anybody can do it, it's gravy in the sleeves.
Of course, dude.
Subpar.
We're up for it.
All right, well, step up to the tee and take a swing at betting the PGA Tour on FanDuel Sportsbook. Right now, new customers can place their first PGA Tour bet risk-free. And if you don't win, you'll get up to $1,000 back. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a range of betting options like outright winners, head-to-head matchups, nationality props, and so much more. And when you win, you'll get paid fast. How fast, Lees?
Up in 2 hours, I believe, is the time.
Tell me about your favorite.
Right away.
Tell
I mean,
me about the
yeah.
real bets you like. It's not a golf bet, but tell me about your real ones you like.
Well, I mean, I love it. I say this every time. The same game parlays, dude. They're bam, 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 and you can stack up some chips. I've won a few of them, missed on maybe slightly more than a few of them, but I love those. Player props, live betting, of course. You get there late, boom, you want to get in on the action. And the best thing, I mean, it's like we say, dude, fast pay makes fast friends. You know what I mean? FanDuel, nobody pays faster, so you got a best friend in FanDuel right there. Get that money.
And we're about to get one of the most exciting months of the year coming up, March Madness. Hello.
Infinite.
But let's
Infinite
focus.
options.
Let's focus. Stay in the present.
Stay the course.
Honda Classic this week, where I believe your career.
I hate
This
this
is where you
place.
say,
I'm not
"C'est
sure
la
that I'll
vie."
even watch a second of it. It's like a flashback. PTSD sets in. They show that 11th hole where it all died for me over there on the 11 after perfect opening 9. Everything was fine. Just decided to try to be a hero. I get sweaty palms. I started thinking, like, you hit in the left rough, you're dead. There's
Place is
no
terrifying.
way. It's just, there's just no let up. I hope they get some wind. I hope they get it a little bit tough. If it's calm, they're still going to kill it. But if it's windy, it changes that whole place and there's a beast.
Obviously, meteorologists have been wrong before, but I looked at the forecast. Thursday, it's sunny every day, 83 degrees, 10 to 20 on Thursday, 5 to 10 Friday, 10 to 20 Saturday, 5 to 10 Sunday. A little
Need
disappointing.
that 10 to 20 to be an actual 20.
Yes.
And maybe drop that temperature down like it is in December when I was on a death march around that place.
Well, the favorite is Sung JM, going off at 10 to 1, I believe, followed by Daniel Berger. For me, my favorite, I'm going with a guy just finished tied for 14th at the WM Phoenix Open, his first start of the year, lives down there in South Florida. When the wind blows, I mean, you got to be a good ball striker. Who swings it better and hits it pure? Louis Oosthuizen, 20 to 1.
20 to 1 for Louis. Hard guy to bet against. Seems when he shows up, he plays good. And I feel like he plays so little. We know he practices very little. The first tournaments back are like, that's his practice. Like, just getting ready. You know what I mean? Just getting back into form. And he plays well in those every time.
His record, his first tournament of the year, is an absolute joke. I believe it's 13 times. He has like 3 wins and 9 top 10s.
I mean, he's always there. He got more runner-ups and majors, too. I mean, he's just all over the place. So, Louis, I like that pick. I'm going to go with one here. Could be a surprise. Could be the least surprise. Guy just had a pretty good week. Joaquin Neiman.
Wow,
going off
back
at
to back?
16 to 1. So I know he used a lot of energy. I know he's exhausted. He said it felt like a month, even though it was a week this past week. But, dude, he's 23 years old. He's got the thing slotted right now. He's hitting it so good. Like I said, led in strokes gained approach, first 36, and strokes gained putting. This is a big, tough golf course, ball striking-wise. I got to think that the swing doesn't completely leave him. If he shows up there with any type of gas at all, I think he can contend with this field.
And he lives there.
And he lives down there. Exactly. He's used to the Bermuda, the wind, all that. I'm gonna ride the hot hand this week. It's second win. Maybe there's a hangover, but I still like him out there.
All right, I'm going with the dark horse here for my next pick. Mm-hmm. He is 60 to 1. He's got 2 top 10s this PGA Tour season. Had a top 5 at the Honda last year. Arguably, I don't even know if it's arguably, he's the best putter on the PGA Tour. I believe he did something, led strokes gained putting like 3 seasons in a row. Denny McCarthy.
D-Mac rolls the pill. All right, we'll see.
And I think his caddy, Derek Smith, still hates us.
I think he does too.
That's okay. I'm rooting for you this week.
We love you. We love you. We didn't mean anything. It's a big. I mean, it's a tough ball strike at golf course. He's the best putter out there. I don't know. We'll see if he can get it around tee to green.
It's a dark horse.
But damn, yeah, 60-1. Have at it. All right, I'm staying with a little theme here. I'm going all Chileans for my picks this week. My second pick, Mito Pereira, 41-1. Okay, a little Chilean takeover. He finished 15th last week at Riv. He's a flusher. So many of the guys from the Korn Ferry Tour that are playing like this kid is really, really good. He's got it. Smashes it. Pures it, kind of the same deal, putting a little had a third up in Napa earlier this year, but just coming off his best finish since this past week. Little diluted field. I think you can get a guy like Mito coming up and taking this thing. So I'm going 41-1, Mito Pereira, all Chileans for the Team Sleaze.
So go low this summer and bet on the PGA Tour. Just download the FanDuel Sportsbook app and sign up using promo code SUBPAR to get your first bet risk-free up to $1,000. Remember to use my promo code SUBPAR to get this special offer today. FanDuel Sportsbook, official betting operator of the PGA Tour. Must be 21 years older and present in Arizona, Connecticut, New Jersey, or New York. First online real money wager only. Refund issued as non-withdrawable site credit that expires in 14 days. Restrictions apply. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342 in Arizona, 1-888-789-7777, or visit ccpg.org/chat in Connecticut, 1-800-GAMBLER in New Jersey, or 1-877-8-HOPE-NY, or text HOPE-NY. That's 467-369 in New York.
Mumble.
You got that?
Bet with FanDuel.
Just bet with FanDuel. Kill it. That's what we do. Everyone have a great week. We'll talk to you on next week's Golf Subpar.